clothing section, you might be walking past some of the easiest money in the thrift store. They don't feel flashy, they don't sound like big money, but what they are is consistent. Today I'm breaking down the best used kids clothing to sell, what actually sells, and what most resellers completely overlook. Coming up, welcome to the Empowered Reseller, where you gotta just list it. Well, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is LeeMeier, and I've made well over $100,000 net profit flipping used clothes. And here's something I wish I would have known a lot sooner. That kids' clothes can be profitable, but you have to know what to look for. Stick with me because one of these categories surprises almost everyone. And some of these kid items are selling for into the hundreds of dollars. Now, before we get into the actual items to look for, let's talk a little bit about why the kids category is so underrated. Most resellers skip kids clothing because the resale value on most kid items is very, very low. But the truth is, there's a lot of good things out there in this category. Kids outgrow clothes fast. Parents and grandparents buy clothes year-round, usually way too much. And so there's a massive flux of used kid items, and the thrift stores can't always keep up. That means kid items are usually priced substantially lower than adult items. And they're a dime a dozen if you source at garage sales. Now, kids clothing isn't usually about $300 flips, although I'll show you some items that are selling for around that price point in this category. Kids items are all about steady income, diversifying your inventory, and building momentum for your store or closet. Category number one, occasion and event clothing. This is where a lot of resellers miss opportunity. Think holiday dresses, flower girl dresses, pageant wear, christening outfits, formal sets for boys. These aren't everyday purchases, but when parents need them, they need them, and they're willing to pay up. And they're often searching by the occasion, the color, the season, not just the brand. This is a girl's party dress from a brand called Miss Blue Marine. Not a lot of keywords with this one. They did list it as polka dot, which isn't quite right. It's actually a solid with a Swiss dot fabric. This shows you that you don't have to be perfect in this category to make a good sale. It sold for $85.99 plus shipping. And this is a girl's size 12 suit outfit from the brand Janie and Jack. And the keywords that were used with this are Easter and roses. It looks like it would be perfect for Easter. It's a matching two-piece blazer and pants. It sold for $75 full asking price. Now, this is one with a lot of really great details. Ruffles, pearls, beading. Also note the keywords they used in the title. Flower girl, party, wedding, and it sold for $50 on a best offer. Category number two, outerwear. This is where kids' clothes becomes very practical and very profitable. Think jackets, snow pants, rain gear, and fleece. Parents are not browsing casually, they're searching with intent. That means stronger sell-through, less price resistance. You're gonna notice that a lot of these examples have sold full price. With outerwear, if it feels sturdy, functional, slightly overbuilt, then that's usually a green flag. This is a boy's North Face jacket with down fill, used condition, and it sold for $100 full price. Girls ski bibs from the brand LeeMeier. This one sold $60 full price. And Patagonia fleece can do really well depending on the print. This is a Patagonia fleece with an older print, crocodiles on it, and it sold for $76 full price. Category number three, mainstream brands. Now, we need to talk about brands because with kids clothing, brand matters a lot, as you've probably noticed. If it's not a strong brand, it's usually a $1 or $2 flip, or it doesn't sell at all. But when you find the right kids brands, you're looking at $40, $50 or more. Not because it's fancy, not because it's rare, but because it's a brand that parents know and trust. Hannah Anderson, Patagonia, Polo Ralph Lauren, Mini Bowden, and T Collection are a few of the brands that hold their resale value when it comes to their kids' clothes. Carhartt is another great brand example where the resale value is high. This is a kid's hooded jacket in that classic duck canvas that sold for $144 full price. And it definitely has some wear and fading to it. This is a Ralph Lauren sweater with the classic bear that sold for about $100 full price. And of course, any luxury brands that you come across. This is a size 2T coat from Burberry. It was listed for $75 and it went for $50 on a best offer. Here's the thing to remember. With kids clothing, the brand can be the difference between a $3 sale and a $50 sale. Number 4, character and licensed clothing. This is one of the strongest performing kids categories when done right. And it's actually a training I did just recently with my VIPs of the Empowered Reseller, where we got to dive even deeper into this hugely profitable category. I'm talking Disney, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, popular TV and movie characters, even video games. Parents aren't shopping brands here, they're shopping characters. The key with these types of items is older and discontinued characters often way outperform new ones. If a kid is obsessed with something and it's no longer available in stores, what do parents do? They go straight to resale markets. We're also seeing a lot of nostalgia buying in this category. Parents that are buying the characters that were popular when they were a kid. This is a t-shirt from the Disney movie Hercules, and it sold for $250 full asking price. A pair of overalls with Clifford on it, and I'm assuming a food delivery truck for that big red dog. It was listed at $300 and it sold for $200. Dr. Mario, who's with me on that one? This is a t-shirt that was listed at $120 and it sold for $70 on best offer. If you're getting value out of this so far, give me a thumbs up and let's keep going. Category number 5, do not sleep on kids' shoes. This is one kids category that a lot of resellers completely forget about. And I get why. They can look worn and people assume that they're not worth very much. But here's the truth, kids' shoes can sell really well, especially with the right brands. With these items, parents are looking for quality and shoes that are gonna last. Well-made items, higher value brands will almost always outperform trendy items. Now, Jordans and Nikes are pretty obvious, but there's a lot of other brands that do well with kids' shoes. For example, these are Keens, a pair of their water shoes that sold $40 full price. A pair of Timberland boots, toddler size 9, and you can see wear to these, but they still sold for $50 full asking price. And when you can combine some of these categories, for example, shoes with licensed kid characters, it gets even better. This is a pair of shoes from Strawberry Shortcake, toddler size 7, and these sold $125 full price. Category 7, vintage. Now you might have noticed a lot of the examples that I've shown so far are vintage pieces, but it really needs its own separate category because it's a whole entire sourcing opportunity altogether. Parents are buying for a few reasons. Nostalgia is a big one. Because the items are better made is another big one. They're also buying because they can't find the item anywhere else. Vintage items tend to be a replacement for something they love or something from their childhood that they have fond memories of. If you see older tags, thicker cotton, unique designs, or those licensed characters, don't dismiss it just because it's small. Give it a second look and the comps just might surprise you. This is a pair of jeans from the classic 90s brand Jinko. Notice the fraying on the cuffs on these. These were listed at $108 and they sold on best offer for $102. This is a pair of vintage Montgomery Ward jeans. Note where it says sanforized on the tag. That's a really good clue that this is a vintage item. More on identification up here. These sold for $290. A girl's holiday dress from the brand Daisy Kingdom. It was listed for $304 and sold for $120 best offer. These are some of my favorite types of items to come across because they almost always outperform anything that is modern. Number 7, another kids category that a lot of resellers underestimate are jerseys. Now, I'm not talking about costume quality or thin printed tees. I'm talking about actual jerseys. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. The players make a huge difference as well as the team, but I've had good luck with both professional teams as well as college. Look for stitched or textured graphics and brands that are recognizable. Parents are not shopping for these types of items just casually. They're buying them for game days, for school spirit days, visiting their alma mater, or for kids who are obsessed with a certain team or player. What does that matter for you? It makes it a high intent purchase, and because of that, usually a faster and higher value sale. Some examples here, a Carolina Hurricanes hockey jersey. This one went for $50 full price. A kid's Penn State jersey. This also sold for $50, again, full asking price. A throwback Seahawks jersey. This one went for $55 full price. Moral of the story here, if you come across a kid's jersey that feels substantial, looks well made, and it's not just another printed tee, pause and check comps before passing it up. It's another one of those categories that doesn't exactly look very exciting, but it sells. Quick note, if figuring out titles and keywords feels overwhelming or you suddenly blank every time you sit down to write a listing, I do have a resource called the Keywords That Sell Posters. These are vetted keywords right at your fingertips, so you can write proven titles in a matter of seconds without guessing. You can get the posters on their own, or I give them as a free welcome gift to every VIP inside of the Empowered Reseller community, along with live trainings and personal help. Everything is linked below, and if you're not quite ready for those, I also have a free keywords list that you'll find down below as well. All right, back to it. So what actually makes kids' clothing sell? Kids' clothing sells faster when you have these 4 things. Number 1, clear sizing. Kids' sizes can be confusing, especially when you have toddler sizes versus big kid sizes. Your listing should clearly convey the size and provide measurements. Number 2, strong keywords, not fluff, but what parents are actually typing. Just like that dress we saw earlier where they used the keyword flower girl. A parent searching for a flower girl dress, that listing's gonna come up. Well, I guess technically that one's sold, but you get the point. Number 3, honest condition. Parents value transparency and always show every flaw. A lot of times it's still okay even if the items have minor flaws. Just like that Hercules shirt that sold for $250. That one has some pilling on it. Those Timberlands that were scuffed, they still sold for $50, but the buyers were honest about the condition. And 4th, you need good photos. They don't have to be overcomplicated. Keep things simple and clean, and this is where a flat lay setup can work really well. A few questions that I get a lot when it comes to kids' clothes: what if I don't have good brands? This is where bundling comes in. Instead of putting a lot of work into, say, a $5 sale, go ahead and lot items together and do it by season or item type. For example, a 3T girls summer lot with sundresses, tank tops, shorts, even sandals. Or lot by similar items. For example, a set of jeans. These are 5 jeans that were lotted together from Old Navy, and you can even see the hole in one of the knees, and that lot sold for $75 free shipping. Remember, parents love convenience, and you're saving them time when you bundle items together. Where's the best place to sell kids' clothes? I won't go super deep here because that's a whole video in and of itself, but in general, eBay works well for higher value items, recognizable brands, and those vintage or rare items that we talked about. Poshmark and Mercari can also be great for individual pieces. And Facebook Marketplace is a great place for low value brands and bundles, especially if you don't want to lose a lot of money to shipping and you choose that sell local option. Do kids' clothes sell year round? Yes, but it's a good idea to have a mix of different types of items. Those occasion and character pieces, those sell when parents need them. Outerwear spikes seasonally, and basics and casual items generally ramp up before the start of school. That's why having a mix of items can help when it comes to bringing in steady income throughout the year. What sizes sell best? Well, there's a couple things to think about here. With the smaller sizes, kids tend to go through them really quickly, so there's often just more sales of the smaller sizes in general, like toddler sizes. But as a parent of older kids, it can be also hard on the other end to find bigger sizes like size 10, 12, 14, and 16. I can tell you from experience that there's limited supply of those sizes out there, and so those items can also sell well as have a little bit higher pricing because there's not a lot of other competition. But again, brand matters more than size alone. Husky and slim sizes are another type of specialty sizing to keep in mind when sourcing, because there can also be limited supply and high demand with these types of sizing. Now that you've seen just how powerful selling kids' clothes can be, the next thing that most resellers underestimate is baby clothes. We're talking $100, $200, $300 here for baby items. Just click or tap the screen and I'll show you 51 vintage baby clothes that are selling right now. Click here and I'll see you there.